That looks like it's working. I wonder if anyone will even see it. So I can do boop. Dylan, hi. Can you hear me? I'm literally all alone right now. I am the mod. Can you hear me? Is it loud? Oh god, I should test farther back. I'm trying to be quiet. I don't know how this is going to sound. Can you hear me? Testing, testing. I can, in fact, hear you. Perfect. Thank you, Dylan. How are you? Can you hear the game? If I... Me. He's grunting. How's it sound? This is, this might end up being my new setup if it works. Right now we got music going. This is my Hades practice run profile, so this isn't... All I've been doing is just doing runs, accidentally unlocking things, giving people stuff, and skipping cutscenes. Doing well. Game on sounds great. Yup galore. Hi. You can hear me too. Perfect. So it's not just Dylan. I asked if I could get a specific Dylan-only mic, and they were like, what? Personal audio is a bit intense, but that might be my headphones. It could be a lot of things. Let me down the gain. I'm testing, so I apologize. Smash that like. I see 5 people and 1 like. 4 people and 1 like. Someone went, what the hell is this? How's that sounding? I turned down the gain a bit. Because that's good. Because I'd rather it be... I can always deal with lowering the volume. But, you know, you can only turn it up so much. And I'd really like to... Oh, thank you. 5 viewers, 5 likes. Thanks, guys. I appreciate that. I'm nervous about the air conditioner / the heater when it's cold out. I'd like to think at some point we'll get back to that seasonal temperature. Especially out here. I literally cannot stream and not have the heat on because it gets like single digits. Your voice is extremely quiet. Oh, I have Dylan saying it's loud, and I have L.E. Bo saying it's quiet. It's not on right now, the air conditioner. Okay, I'm going to turn it up a bit. Because this is an XLR microphone, which is new for me. And I'm home alone right now, and I realized after going back and forth between my old mic and this new mic, I'm using the same headphones, and I'm the same brain, and I'm just listening to my voice a fraction of a second delayed in my headphones, and it was driving me off the wall. Does it sound better? My voice is extremely quiet. That's definitely better. Okay, yeah, because this is... I have a little stream Game Boy set up now. That's also the name of my handheld console, Game Boy. It's gain parentheses S for sensitivity, boy. But how does that... I'll stop. I keep wanting to face all the different things. Volume's better. Awesome. Better. It does sound crisper. Thank you. I thought so too, but I'm like, is that just me desperately trying to justify spending a couple $100 that I wasn't budgeting for because I saw a sale and I jumped on it? And then after I purchased it, I was like, oh, I've made a huge mistake. And then everything showed up Monday, right before the Monster Prom stream. Everything showed up but the mic. So I had cables, I had a sound mixer, but I didn't have a microphone. So I'm the fool. Just a trick of the brain because it's a new mic. It def sounds crispy. Awesome. Good. Is it like $400 crisper? Because I'm waiting for, this came with a little mic stand. So I'm using the little mic stand that it came with currently. But I got one of those professional boy arms, so I can look like one of the real gamers, one of the YouTubers. And then I found out if I want to also use this for videos on the main channel, I need to get an adapter. And I want to get another cable so I'm not using more dongle adapters for my MacBook. But it seems to be doing good. I don't hear the background at all. Literally only your voice. It's like you're in a sound room. Yay! That's okay. A little behind the scenes for everybody. BTS. This whole time I've had one of these little boys. Not sponsored. There's no brand. The whole time I've had one of these little boys wrapped around that microphone so you couldn't hear, like, if a neighbor slammed a door or if something fell over or the AC turned on and stuff. The AC's still not on. We'll have an AC party when the AC turns on. Very blessed to have AC. Don't get me wrong. Ooh, did we hear that? There's traffic sounds outside. I'm getting a lot of crisp. That's good. Audio is sounding great. Thank you, Lyric Rose. Ellie Bow. I don't hear the background at all. Oh, wait, we talked about that. I'm going to remember how to say this. Polyphonica Studio. Sounds good to me. Placebo or not. Didn't hear that. That's good. When the AC kicks on, I'll let you know, and we'll have another freak out. Can't hear the oh, there we go. Anything? This is the lamest stream of all time, but you have no idea how helpful this is right now. Pass RH, don't know if it's my new headphones, but the quality and volume sounds absolutely great. It's your headphones mixed with this new boy. No AC? We'll give it, I'll count down from 5 on my hand. No? Let me know. I'm so excited and so stressed. Silence. That's perfect. Because also, you can kind of tell. I got a black muffler little boy thing for the mic, so it'll match my outfit. It's blending in with my tits. So I'm like, you can kind of see it in the frame, but I don't think it's going to really be that obvious. It's right there. But I have an arm coming in so I can get up close and personal. Silence, nothing, not a thing. Perfect. All right. Now we just got to make $417. We'll call it $420, blaze it. You could literally do an ASMR with it. Don't think I wasn't for a while. Okay. So I'm speaking. I could do an ASMR with this. Can we get a shout out to GB ASMR in the chat? For being nice to me. Made a little ASMR for beginners, and that was really cool. I got YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Oh, is it because I'm not playing? Not enough video. Is it my computer? Oh, I do some. Oh, I don't really have anything open. Is the stream okay? I've never seen that error before. It said not enough video for a stream. Does it think I'm taking a nap? You were just going in and out. Was that because of the quality of the stream? I've got a little banner saying YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. I've never gotten that before. Is my audio too powerful? I had some buffering. It lagged a bit for a second. Okay. I want everyone to be better than me, but I appreciate that we're all equally mildly stressed wanting this to go well. Just had to refresh, but it's back. Okay, cool. I still have the little banner. I hope that's not... Okay. It said the current bit rate is lower than the recommended rate. Minor buffering, picture quality dropped a bit. I hope that's not a reflection on me. All the things I've been considering in these purchases, I did not consider it impacting the machine itself. Oh, these are kind of lame. We'll do critical chance. It righted itself. Okay, cool. Yeah, I still have a little. The stream's bitrate is low. I was hoping getting everything moving a little more might help. I hope this isn't too much for my computer. I had to refresh, but it's okay now. Okay, good. But yeah, I've gotten really good at this because this has been my downtime game. But I have not been paying attention to the story. Should we ever go back to Hades? But I've become a glove boy now because I accidentally unlocked the special gloves. And I didn't even know they were special till I got a trophy. Yes, 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 I know. I'm great, you're great, we're all great. Give me that. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm amazing at video games now. I'm able to beat Bloodborne a lot. That's a downtime game for me. I can breeze through this. I'm so good at Hades now, it's ridiculous. I had the TV on and my phone. My TV corrected immediately. My phone had to refresh. I don't know what that means, but yeah. Huh. Nice balance of the game volume in your voice. That's good. Oh, then I shouldn't have skipped some dialogue. We'll do that. I'm such in the habit of skipping everything so I can still preserve it for a stream in the future when we play more of this. This is just a second file. I don't even know who I'm dating. I think I'm dating everyone. I just gave everybody stuff so they would give me things.
Good enough to eat.
Support fire, baby. I've learned to love the Huntress goddess. But yeah, I'm great now. Also, having the secret boy gloves helps a lot. Oh god, get away from me. Aha! Let's get a god so we can get some dialogue-y. It's a nice blend. That's so good. I really wanted to give everything a nice little upgrade. And like I said, seeing everything I was looking at, the microphone, I'm not naming brands or nothing, nobody pays me, they gotta pay me, but the microphone was on sale and I'm like, I think I should do it now, because I was gonna wait until the Thanksgiving. Oh, I skipped the dialogue again. I'm so used to it. I'm sorry. I won't. The Sorry for Thanksgiving sale that we do annually. Oh yeah, and I became friends with Boldy. I got a little thing. Oh my god. No. Ah. Okay, how does it sound when I freak out? Does it peak? This is a great way to test the audio. Ah. Oh god. Okay, get out of that. Nope. Oh, okay. No. She's... Stop punching me. Only I punch. Boom. But wanting to get into YouTube and streaming, but all the equipment is so expensive. No peeking so far. Okay, good. Yeah, the equipment is... I got really lucky in a lot of ways, because I've had some people leave comments like, you should check out Over the Garden Wall, because it's fall soon and all that stuff. And I'm like, oh, I have. Please check it out. Please know that that's me from another life. That is... excuse me. I don't have my water or anything. That was a camera with a built-in mic that Alana had in her closet that I asked if I could use, and then a lighting equipment kit that she had for cosplay photos, and we set that up in the little extra room that we had at the time. Like, it was kind of just like, it wasn't even like a full room. We set that up, and we put all my extra posters up behind me, just whatever I had that I hadn't like thrown away or whatever. No peeking, good. That makes me really happy. And then my stepdad, who's my mom's ex-husband now, F in the chat, he had texted me that he was going to sell or get rid of an old MacBook because he's not using Apple products anymore. And it was like around the holidays and all that stuff, and he's like, do you want it? I can just ship it to you. And I'm like, oh, please do. So I'm using an old camera from like the early, like 2009, I'd say, not early 2000s, but like around 2010. So I'm using like a 7-year-old camera, lighting equipment that's meant for photography, old posters on the wall that I just didn't have up in my room, a MacBook that my stepdad almost got rid of. So the only thing I actually had to like pay for was Final Cut. And even then, I downloaded the free trial and just never turned off that MacBook for months. So I got like a 30-day trial for like 6 or 7 months. And I remember I was in the middle of making a Steven Universe future video when my MacBook like forced me to update, and Final Cut went, wait a second, your trial's done. And so I had to like pay for it, and I had to put it on my credit card, and I never had a credit card before because credit cards did in my family financially, so they were like, never get one. And then I finally got one, and the credit on it, the limit was like $500. And so I maxed out my $500 limit credit card buying Final Cut so I could keep editing a project and hoping that the file would transfer over, which it did. Then eventually when the video started making a little bit of money, I just kept saving it. It was like I was making like 50, 60 bucks a month, maybe. And, you know, I'm living in the city, so rent's expensive, and utilities and food and all that stuff. And I just was hanging on to the YouTube money as long as I could. And then, like, there was a holiday sale online, like a Cyber Monday thing or something. And the camera that I still use now, it's normally like, I think it's normally like 500 bucks. It's pretty old, but it was normally like 500 bucks, and it was like 200, and it came with the lens, an SD card, and something else for like 200, and I jumped on it, and I had to pay off like enough of my credit card. Like, I paid off like $250 or something on it because of the tax and everything, so I could load that credit card back up to get the camera out here. And then the old microphone I was using, I also found on sale and used birthday money for that every year. Like, you know, my grandma sends me like 50 bucks, and my mom sends me 50 bucks, and, you know, sometimes my dad will send me something, or I'll get a Venmo from my stepmom or something. And because that's, of all the many setbacks of being a child of multiple divorces, the $50 from everybody adds up, and does not make up for my trust issues, but it's appreciated. And it's not expected, and sometimes, you know, a phone call will always suffice. You know, I don't need nothing, but I saved all those
Anything of interest? You'll have to fill me in once you break free, dearest.
I want to break free. It's a song I wrote for a friend of mine, Fred. How did that sound with the audio for the dialogue? I know I just totally interrupted it. Classic content creator. You get me talking about myself, and I'll just keep talking about myself.
No thanks.
Damn. We'll do that. Technically, welcome back, Beeb Owl. You have not caught a stream. This is an audio test, but hello. This counts. What was I saying? That's how I got the microphone I'm using now, because the microphone, that's what it came with. It also came with a little microphone that clipped on the top of the camera. that all came in the bundle for like $200. And after a couple of months, it was like super like staticky. It was breaking in and out. Like half my videos at the time, like I was too stressed to like record. And I was like wrapping it in like tin foil and trying to figure it out. And so I just said, screw it. And we didn't know really what to do. And then I had my birthday money sitting there. So I grabbed this mic, paid for the extra shipping so it would show up. And that's what I've been using for the last like 2.5 years. And if I can get this to work nicely with my camera for my videos, it'll just have to be my backup emergency microphone, because that's also something I can't do. Like I still have that old clunky used MacBook in case this one explodes or something. If it's not broken, I have to hang on to it. Like I have like an iPhone 7 in a drawer somewhere just in case. I even do it with my glasses. I have my backup glasses, which was just my previous pair with a prescription that doesn't work for me anymore, chilling in my drawer. Like I can't let go of things in case something breaks, but I limit myself to just one. I don't have like a stack of every iPhone I've ever had ever. The mic sounds great. Thank you, Kirby Princess. Welcome back. Oh, you just finished watching part 1 of Night in the Woods. That fiasco that like destroyed all my files for my editing. I still had the footage, so it was just starting over, but trying to do Steam on the MacBook and streaming to YouTube, it was a mess, and it like messed with my Final Cut files because there was too much stuff going on at once. I have everything and only get rid of it if I have a new backup. Yeah, I think that's kind of because like I don't know, sometimes like with phones and stuff, it's like turn in your 12 and a half for a 13, and it's like that's a good idea if you really want to do that. But I do the same thing with clothes. Like I wear it into the ground. Like my feet have to feel the wetness of a puddle through like my winter boots before I go and get new ones.
Next time.
That's just always how I've been. Which has come in handy because still not in the green after rent, food, and bills with YouTubing. So just trying to make everything stretch as far as I can, and that's why I really badly wanted to do this audio test, because spending that kind of money on this stuff was super stressful. But I'm like, you know, I want to hit 5K soon, ideally. Who knows when or if it'll happen. I want to do the Undertale Evil Route stream to celebrate that. I want my streams to be better, and if I buy the right mic and get the right setup, this is also helping my videos. Because not to pick favorites, it's just, you know, like I talked about in my Arcane video the other day, the unfair responsibility of the older sibling. The younger sibling might get neglected a little bit, and the gaming channel is very, oh, I got a new microphone for videos, I guess I'll use it for streams. Because minus games, it's just whatever equipment I have on hand for making videos I use for the streams. Like you're on my MacBook right now and stuff. So I wanna upgrade everything slowly, because I guess the next thing would be getting a better camera, because the one I'm using for my videos now is old. Because I can't justify spending hundreds of dollars on a camera just to use it as a fancier than normal webcam. And I feel like it does okay. Like, how much better do you really need to see my face in these streams, right? I wouldn't say no to one, but I'd rather get more games. Excuse me. I'd rather get more games, or because I was torn, because I've been setting aside money all year, and this is basically merch mixed with a little bit of gaming channel donations to get this new audio setup. Thank you again to everybody who has donated in chat or with a super thanks. Clicking on stuff generates revenue too, so thank you for doing that. What was I saying? Armor
should work.
Oh, I really want the right because don't I have weak punch? No, did I not get as well? Urge to kill. Oh, I still have that turned on. That's why I'm doing so good. We can turn that off. It's like I'm doing really well for not paying attention. There we go. What do I have? I thought I had a strike, don't I? Yes, I do. It's Frost Strike. Ugh. Frost Strike is fine. I'd rather have Weak Strike. But I don't even remember what I was saying. Upgrading, being smart with money. Ah, get back here, you. Because, yeah, God mode is nice, sure. It doesn't really matter if you're fast and good.
Olympus, I accept this message.
Someone die? I want... I need a good call. That's not gonna happen. Because, yeah, the secret to my success is the really good glove boys. What was I talking about? We were talking about the price for things. I could feel myself wanting to be, and I guess that's good, right? It's better than screaming into the mic. I could feel myself wanting to be quieter because now I'm like acutely aware that there's a microphone really close to me. Is my breathing aggressive? I don't want your aid move. Ooh. Stronger and checks. Oh, that might actually be a good idea. So, good food. That.
Pay for that.
Hey, buddy. To you. Good old Sharon. Random question. You have a PS4, right? Yeah. Thank you. That's what I was talking. That's what I was gonna say too. Yeah. This is again more to my point of the old stuff that I've cobbled together for content. This PlayStation 4 is a birthday present from 5 years ago now. So that's what I was gonna say. I was like, I'd set aside some money, and I'm like, what would upgrading look like right now? And when they were announcing the price increase of the PS5, I was like, maybe we look into something else. I've been keeping tabs of the Steam Deck because it's supposed to have a docking station soon, and crap. Well, it's fine. I got to heal myself, and I got $10 out of it. There we go. Oh my god. I don't have Divine Dash. Oh, just kill it. I was like, keeping an eye on the Steam Deck, but then the dock isn't happening for a while, and that's what I would use to stream all this, obviously. Like, I would essentially use it, ironically, as the Steam Deck is meant to be more of the portable element of the Switch, I would use it as a docked Switch, so I could play Steam games with my stream setup as it currently is. And I've been keeping my eye on that. It's pricey, it's new, don't really know the specs. So I was like, that would be something for the future. That would be like a 10,000 subscriber gift to us, so that I could play more Steam games or something, or maybe a donation goal for next year or something. And then I was like, or I could get you know, if I can find one used or something, I could get like an Xbox S or something, because those are more affordable. And the Xbox Arcade has it has the Sonic Adventure games on them for like $10, and for some reason they're just not on the PlayStation library anymore. And I really want to do 3D Sonic streams. I've only played half of Adventure 2. I've never played Adventure 1. I never finished Adventure 2. I really want to play the 3D Sonic games and do those as streams. I think that would be a really fun series to do over time. And so I was like debating that, and again, I'm like, I don't know if I can justify all that when the gaming channel is very much still, you know, it's fun. I like doing it. I don't want to downplay the content at all. And the whole point of making a second channel was when I threw up those Let's Plays sporadically a couple years ago, it really messed with like the YouTube algorithm, and YouTube's already mad at me when I jump back and forth between like, you know, live streams, film and animation, and music categories. So throwing in gaming, I think, might have made it worse at the time, but who knows, maybe I shot myself in the foot by not just doing gaming streams on the main channel. It's hard to navigate this, as we've been being reminded lately, not only with my content. Thank you again for everyone who listens to me vent and doesn't just unsubscribe. But even the headlining YouTubers have been talking about it a little bit lately. Who knows, but the whole point of the second channel was to, like, you know, do more streams, keep it kind of separate. And I'm like, as long as it makes sense, you know, if it's, you know, I'm not losing money, you know, it's growing an audience, people like the content, I like doing it, let's go for it. But I figured upgrading the audio made more sense than getting a console, if that makes sense. But those are things I'm still looking into and still want to do. But also, it's not like it's hard to get a hold of a new console if my PlayStation had a meltdown. Oh, I need health. The hammer. The hammer. You can still connect the Steam Deck to your setup without the dot. Are you sure? Because my setup's weird. Like, I would need HDMI. Oh, no. Me. Come on. Me. Just let me adore you. Don't. Hello. Please don't. Thank you. Okay. There we go. But, sturdy's probably good. With a quake cutter. Sturdy. But yeah, that was the whole point of doing the second channel, and I'm like, yeah, while it's still like in its, for lack of a better word, we'll say infancy, I didn't want to invest the money I had set aside on purely gaming stuff, and that's also something where, you know, like I said, the holiday sales and stuff are about to happen in a little bit, so there's a chance I could grab, you know, a cheap used Xbox or something for even less money in the near future, or just set it aside for the next thing. But I really wanted the audio to go up, because that, oh god, I just got shot. Don't you hit me with arrows then? And then I killed your ghost because I'm that mad at you. Hell yeah. Speaking of saving money. Oh dang, but that would be really, what is this? I need the jerky. I have one. You can get a small HDMI converter. It's fairly cheap. Oh, really? Okay, well, I mean, the thing itself is still fairly pricey. But that's good to know. I just wanted the full setup for it, and also to kind of get more of that confirmation that I won't be making a YouTube video where I'm grilling a steak on it because it overheats. Remember those days? Back in my day, our PlayStations caught on fire, and we were grateful for it. We'd go uphill both ways in the snow just to get an Xbox 360 that melted from the inside. Excuse me for burping. Was the burp invasive? Should I get better at leaning away when I burp? Okay, I'm gonna... Here's me, hour 3 into a stream. I'm leaning back. How's the audio now? I'm going. Fighting boys. Yay, hi Alana. The audio sounds good. Everyone say hi to Alana. Everyone say mean things, so Alana has to mod. Say, "Oh, Bill, your audio's so good. The only thing better than that is how handsome you are." The full setup would make it so much better. I wish the dock came out and the release. It was already so expensive. Yeah, and I mean, for what it is, it makes sense that it's expensive, because my whole thing was, and I think I talked about this before. We'll do that. If I'm gonna buy, say, a gaming PC, we'll do that. Although I guess I just wasted my money because I healed myself twice. Money. I'm so stressed out from this day. I forgot that I told you to say that. I was like, oh, Kirby Princess, that's weird, but thank you. That's like an extra compliment, but you know what? I deserve an extra compliment every once in a while. So thank you. How did it sound when I leaned back? Did anyone notice a difference? I'm leaning back right now. I'm not hunching forward. This is me when my butt's getting tired and it's been 4 hours and I'm listening to a 30-minute fake podcast in the credits of a game and I have to pay attention so I can find out what happened to Anne Boonchoy. Real ones know. Real ones know. How does that sound? Still sounds great? Awesome. I'm so happy. Because I'm doing the best I can. You know? I need more viral video, or I wouldn't consider my biggest videos to be viral videos. I need a viral video if you guys want better equipment. But I felt like this was a good compromise. Still sounds good. Perfect. More money, because I can use it to buy more health. If that isn't a metaphor. I'm glad so many people got notified of this. Now we're just hanging out. This is life if I didn't care and I didn't need everything to like have a meaning or a theme to it. Can you imagine? I'm just like, you know what? I'm going live. We're just gonna play a freaking game. A new PC in mind? No, that's why I was looking at the Steam Deck. I don't know. I'm not good at that. And I've asked my sisters to explain it to me a couple times because they're very tech heavy in their lives. They're working professional women in the industry. And they're very good at what they do. They're not good enough to explain it to me because I'm like, I'm sorry, what? I make it go burr. So I'm the problem, let's be honest. But I figured the Steam Deck would do everything I would want because I have my Mac that I edit on and I use it for the stream and everything. And I'm like, I guess I would really just need a gaming setup and then, oh, here's the Steam Deck. That would kind of solve. Please give me... Thank you, I need that.
This means war.
I knew you'd pull this old maneuver, Zagreus, and I am ready for you now.
How was that? Did she sound nice and angry and loud? And my voice is still prominent? Because like there's more I can do with this this setup. Like it came with software and I was trying to make it work. And I'm very technically insufficient. And it's like, oh, download the software and you can sync it to the game audio so you can control it with a little button. And I'm like, I like the way I do it. We very rarely have we been, I guess if I was playing Elden Ring like a big boy, where you can't pause whenever you want. And I'm like, oh no, I gotta change the audio.
Just like it never happened.
The dialogue's kind of faint, but is the music good? Because I can turn up a little bit. Just turn it up there, and then I'll just turn it down on my end, so I'm not getting yelled at. She was a little hard to hear. Okay. Well, good thing she just finished talking, so. Critical does even more damage. That's a good... I'll try spinning. That's a neat trick. I'm dumb, and there's like a whole bunch of things I could be doing with this. I'll learn them over time. That might be a setting thing. No, voice volume's high, brightness is mid. Maybe if I turn down the music a little bit, that would help. I don't know. We'll see.
I'll take it.
I just turned it up a little bit, so we'll see. Cast fires longer and inflicts chill. That's gonna be a good idea because I'm gonna start using it against this boss.
Got stronger there.
I don't need. That's the nice thing about this file is I don't need the extra crap, so I can save my money. But I'm about to fight the boys. Yeah, if the music is good and the dialogue is quiet, that's I can't do much about that other than turn it up on my end and then try to...
He returns.
Alright, let's see.
Come forth, blackguard, and be vanquished by my righteous spear.
Yeah, that is a little quiet on my end too, and the dialogue options turned up all the way. Are we just too gamer for this? I turned it up on your end. How did that sound? Because obviously that's going to be subject to game by game. All right, let's do that. There. Alright, okay. Because I do extra damage. Oh, you used your stupid impervious nonsense. I do extra damage when I don't have casty boys. No. Hold on. Let me kill your friend first. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Nope. No. Got him. Now you. You're dead next. Ooh, heart of the cards. Almost beat him without dying. Oh, that would have been so cool. That's fine. It's more of a Rocky 3 kind of ending there. It would have been so satisfying to have done that without dying.
Show them who's boss, didn't
Hey,
we, Shane?
buddy. He my fan. He subscribe. He donate. He leave comment. He helped me with my audio.
Exactly what I need.
That's so expensive.
Should I
I'm
take
pretty
the try?
confident. I've killed Hades without dying. Oh, and I'm trying to level up my last little trinket thing too, so I'm at a disadvantage in that way. Yeah, the dialogue is kind of low on my end. Should I turn everything else down a bit so I can turn up the game in the future? Because I don't see why that would be, because the music sounds fine, and it's a nice crisp tone whenever I break a vase. I'm not sure. But that's more game specific. That's a lot of good stuff. Okay. I have no fear of anything anymore.
This one, I guess. Hello.
But yeah, those are things. No, stop pissing on me. Easy, boys. Whoa there, old girl. but I'm glad it at least sounds crisper. And I'm trying to think of what else do I really do? Because I don't move that much. I guess leaning back. I do this sometimes for my butt. How does this sound? I feel like I'm about equidistant. Ah. Still sounds good. Awesome. That's good. Because, yeah, the only thing I've really had to do is, speaking of purchases that I've had to make, this is the old style of hat. You can tell it's a lot more faded, but other than that, exactly the same. It's now my cell phone koozie for when I stream, because I noticed while I was testing the audio by myself, it's really loud when I put things down on the table. That was me being careful. It picks up now, so I put it on a hat. That's my, it's a little content creator secret there. You want to take old clothes and soft things that you don't use that much and use them as little coasters and koozies and whatnot, so you can, you know, have things. It's my safety phone. It's like a security blanket. Ever since I was little, I've had an iPhone. What is that, a 10? 11? Ever since I was little, if I had bad dreams, I would just snuggle with my iPhone. You know, it's a little embarrassing. You know, I'm not a little kid anymore. I just destroyed that rat. That looked a lot cooler before I realized those are my own lasers, so no, they can't hurt me. Some money. That didn't sound different. That's good. Crisper than a McDonald's Sprite. And take that to the bank. I better see that on all my comments for the rest of my life. People strive to be on the trending page. I just want to be compared to McDonald's soda fountains.
No thanks.
That's hilarious. Oh my god. Oh my god. I wish the support fire was faster, but it does come in handy. Die. Hee. But I'm glad it sounds good, and it's easy to manipulate now too. But it's so confusing. Like it's embarrassing because I even had to like take a little class on like the basic ideas of like lighting and audio stuff. So, you know, if you're talking to a director or ADR or whatever as an actor, or talking to the director of photography or something, like you won't just be like, like you know what they're talking about, just picking up basic terms. I still can't tell you, and again, I think this is because I was like hearing my own voice in the new and old microphone over and over again, trying to see if this was worth it. It's an XLR mic that goes into the mixer, and then it connects to my Mac through a USB connection. And I'm like, so then isn't it just the same exact thing because it's a USB connection at the end like my old mic? Probably not, but that's just where my brain takes me at all times. But I think it's more nerves than anything, so I appreciate everyone hanging out for this test with me and stuff. Because I really didn't want to like start a stream tomorrow and just either something went wrong and you can't hear me and it's disappointing, or I just like bleed out everybody's eardrums saying hello. No one needs that on a Thursday in this economy. Oh my god, oh my god. So many little boys.
All clear.
master when you deal critical damage. I guess the dash strike would help. I'm not getting divine dash. Hee. Guys, like Marcy. See, I'm Marcy. See, it's a reference. That's what I did. Everything means something. There are no accidents. I really feel like I should try. Hopefully this isn't good. I skipped him again. I'm sorry. Ooh, God gauge goes up automatically. We'll do that. Yeah. Because I still haven't gotten the sack yet, right? But I'm glad. Because I was determined. I was like, oh, I can solve it myself. And then I was literally, I had everything set up like I'm gonna stream, but I was by myself. And then I'm like, I can make a thumbnail real quick. Should I just test a stream and see if someone hangs out? And people came to hang out, so hi. Don't worry, we'll still be doing Monster Prom tomorrow. So I had a lot of fun with that, and I'd say 90% of those characters are hot, so having a good time. Although it does make me super uncomfortable still, and we talked about it in the stream. I appreciate that they're aged above 18, but it's still high school, even though they're like more like college age. It makes me uncomfortable because I'm a gross old adult man. And I guess it's a good thing it makes me uncomfortable. It still makes me a little uncomfortable.
Now back to Cerberus.
But I like that game a lot. I like how fun it feels. The stakes are high for the characters, but it doesn't have the stress of, you know, if you don't pick the right person to go to Monster Prom with you, the world explodes. And I like the art style. Like it's very fun and detailed, but it still has the Halloween color palette, but also the buoyancy of like my generation Saturday morning cartoons and above. Like it's not a Looney Tune palette, it's like a Kids WB palette. Oh, how far they've fallen.
Tasty.
Does anybody still remember Kids WB? I feel like that's when it really dawned on me that animation has strayed far away from the chosen path. It's now, instead of, you know, being a place for cartoons, it's now a cartoon graveyard. It's fine. Sometimes I wonder, is it my fault? Like, did I not tag my Infinity Train videos right? Maybe if they had gone trending, maybe if I was better at my videos and more people watched them, and more people liked me, maybe I could have shown them that they needed to keep Infinity Train going. And then I realized I'm handling Infinity Train going away forever worse than I handled my parents' divorce each time. All 5 of them? Would my parents' initial divorce count as 1 or 2? Because it would be both my mom and dad's first divorce. Because there's that one, and then my dad and my mom both had another divorce after that, and then my dad had another divorce after that. So that's at least 4? 5, if the first one counts as 1. I think it kind of explains a lot about why I need the attention. Which even then, that's a very subconscious part of it. I just like talking about stuff, which is, I think, the biggest disconnect from me and YouTube right now. Because even on the Arcane rewatch breakdown video I just posted the other day, there's a lot of people arguing with me,
Grant me strength.
and that's fine.
Stronger still.
But not. It confuses me when it's not something you can argue, because it's like, oh, this is how I feel. It's not fact. Or they just didn't pay attention to the sentence and they're technically agreeing with me
I can leave you explore more.
if they just listen to the next
Quite
sentence.
there, Charon.
But it's like that weird feeling of like, I just like talking about stuff. It's not about being right or, because I guess it'd be different. Because I was talking about this with my stepmom today. While I was catching up with her. She's good. But I was like, we were talking about just the internet and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, sometimes I feel like my videos come across to people as like, because I sometimes like get things right, especially with less information, with no context and everything like that. Sometimes I think it sets a bar in a different place for people, so that it's like, haha, you missed a spot. And I'm like, yeah, I literally said I didn't get this, and then people are like, you are wrong. And I'm like, I'm not wrong, I said I didn't get it. So if anything, I was right. It's very weird to me, and I'm like, it'd be one thing if I made my videos like storytelling expert, musical major, you know, expertly dissects 100 things you missed, whatever, like that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, then I'd be totally asking for that kind of energy. But I'm just like, this is what I noticed, or like talking about, since I don't know League of Legends or anything like that, and I want to keep that perspective, especially going into the show. I like just focusing on the show, because it's nice. Because I think I compared it the other day to like Star Wars, where like my dad and I like had a million theories about The Last Jedi, and then none of those things happened, and we were bummed. And we just kind of learned to practice letting go and enjoying things, as opposed to like hyping ourselves up too hard. But like, I'm like, because I don't know those things, I'm like, oh, I would have been really upset if I had seen the opening credits, because I really got a big kick out of seeing a thing that's revealed in the opening credits, but I always skipped them. And someone's like, you're wrong, that's not a spoiler. And I'm like, huh? It would have been to me. I think people just like to fight online. I don't think it's personal. No, and that's another challenge for me too, is to not take those things personally.
Out of here.
Because, you know, I made a video. It's the closest thing to a baby that I'll ever have. Are my silly YouTube videos.
Thank you, mate.
Ooh, yeah, that's probably a good idea. What was that? I think we're in a good spot. We got 2 lives. Cleared out everything. I'm broke. Let's do this.
The fearsome Cerberus.
It's a bummer, because like I like engaging in the comments, and I've kind of learned, especially with the arcane videos, like my energy isn't always going to be felt. The other person's energy isn't always going to be felt. Because sometimes like I'll respond to a comment, reading it as like just a pleasant, calm energy, when for all I know their intention is the equivalent to I'm fine, meaning leave me alone, but I'm reading an I'm fine as, you know, oh, good, I'm glad you're fine. But it's over text. And just kind of having to let that go,
Been waiting long.
which is a bummer, but I guess if people want to talk to me directly, check out a stream.
Let us see.
Oh, I keep skipping. I'm sorry. I need to get out of that habit, so I'll just mash through it. So I'm like, oh, I'll do a stream for the Hades ending and stuff. I don't want things spoiled for me. Although, the only thing that I guess has been spoiled for me, I figured. I figured that was gonna happen, and I still don't feel like it was ruined for me, because I don't understand what happened just now. Some people hang out at my house. That's fun. Oh, the music's so fucking weird. Effing good. Man, we almost went the whole stream without swearing. Sorry. That was my first profanity into the new mic. Everyone take a picture. Draw it. It'll be the portrait that I have. Oh no, I don't like dying in this face, but I also have mental health. Okay. Let's focus. Ha! I whirly all over you. What were those things called? It was like a metal fork, and you'd have like a little like wheel on it, like a plastic wheel, and it would just just like roll back and forth on like a little ramp. It was like this weird like fusion between a oval and a rectangle. What are those things called? Talking about consoles and stuff earlier just reminded me that we are getting closer and closer to a point where all the games are coming out on the prettier consoles, and I'm over here like, I still want DVDs.
Come on and die.
But I keep forgetting I have my cast upgrades. Oh, I'm such a fool. Ha. Oh god, oh god, go. No. Leave me be. Aha! I'm invincible. Bye. Oh my god. Oh, we can do it.
Last chance. Go home.
No. Oh, I'm dodging. Oh, it's getting hard to see. That's why I don't like those crystal boys. Come on.
Not yet.
Oh, I'm the best anime protagonist of all time. Boom. I am the greatest anime. Top 10 anime victories.
How did you accomplish this?
Yeah, the dialogue's really soft. Well, that's good to know in the future, because I can turn down the sound effects and the music and keep the dialogue up and turn it up when we play Hades again. Let's go, gamers. Not bad. Not my best time, though, but not bad. To be fair, that was also without any of the stupid extra big peepee trial obstacle things going. But yeah, I've played this game into the ground. I'm so good at these now. I'm the best. Oh, did I miss it?
That's enough.
That's fine. I don't play Animal Crossing. I play Hades. I play big boy games. You don't understand me, Mom and Dad. Okay, well, that was a solid run.
Prince Zagreus proceeded onward toward a certain doom, entirely graphic to describe.
Pogue indeed. GG, gamers. What? Why are you angry? Oh, man. Well, I'm glad the audio's working.
Showed you that time, Father.
What are we, I guess I can still just kind of chill. Should I listen to them talk, or would I spoil for myself now? Because I've skipped all the dialogue. I'm pretty sure Thanatos is my boyfriend.
Nice work, Hypnos.
Hypnos and I are buddies now. Because I just had a bunch of booze, and I just gave it to people. Orpheus has new songs now.
I have matters here under control.
Good.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, I also got Excalibur. That was cool. I still don't have... Oh, I've also been doing these, and I realized they don't do anything, but whatever. Ugh. Well, we did a nice run.
I must admit, that was a job well done back there.
Thanks, Papa. Dad, you mean it?
The hellish watchdog snarls at the listless shades crowding about the court.
That is so soft. I'm nervous about the music. Oh, y'all were right, by the way. Monster Prom did like a minute of each time we got the credits after attempting to ask somebody to prom. No spoilers. Watch the stream, baby. We're doing more tomorrow. The end credits theme song does get claimed. So
trust
that
my
was
him-
a huge bummer. My dispute was rejected,
Darkness guide you,
and then it
child.
was muted. But the fun is still there forever online. And darkness be with you, and also your
Heck,
spirit.
Keep letting down my guard against you, Zach.
Oh yeah, she likes me. Yeah, so we're... Yeah, you could say we're boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend.
Totally worth it.
Everyone in this game is so expertly drawn, well detailed. I love
trade.
art.
More keys for me.
That's been the other nice thing about
Need more of those.
doing
so
the
here.
gaming stuff. It's like, it's fun. It's good, clean fun. I'm sure it happens, but thank God the social media algorithms do not send it to me. But nothing sucks more than like, oh cool, a thing I like from the animation world is trending, and if you scroll too far, your eyes will catch on fire and your stomach will hurt. And you'll want to just crouch in a little ball forever. Sometimes those characters are from your childhood. How we doing? Oh, we're talking about Kiki's delivery service? Man, no one includes me on the fun in chat. I couldn't hear the song on the live stream. Yeah, well, it got muted. Or the song on this live stream. I turned on the music a little bit. So excited you're processing it. Oh, I need to process. What's happening? I'm trying to keep up with chat. Everyone's having fun without me. I'm just here to play the gesture and the fool. Dude, can I explore the PlayStation Store on stream? Is that something we can do together? Does anybody know? Quit being a Pogue gamer and pay more attention to chat, you mad lad. I have the... Never mind. What I was about to say, I don't have it turned on right now anyway. Or I don't have it pulled up right now anyway. I'm like, I have the donation thing up. Those catch my attention, but then that would have sounded like I'm soliciting donations. You don't have to. If you can and you want to, it's always appreciated. I take it back. I was about to make a joke. Not gonna. I'm better than that. Yeah, oh, that's true, Alana. You usually do loop me in, but you are working remote. Bill, I just wanted to say, I feel you make me a healthier, better person. I appreciate so much what you do. I hope you know. You make me feel better every single day. Well, that's good. Thank you, Retro. Bill, I don't know if you have PlayStation Plus, but if you do, I do not. What is this, a sponsor read, Dylan? A game is free. At least put it in your library. It's an absolute bananas. You don't need to play 0-6. Okay. Maybe. I do not. Shut up, Kirby Princess. Thank you for the $4.99. Bill the Solicitor. No, Kirby the Princess, thank you. This is literally why I backpedaled on what I said. Thank you. 415 to go. Or I guess 412 to go, because YouTube's going to take a cut, and then I'm going to pay taxes on this. Thank you, Kirby Princess, for the $4.99. Is it too loud when I do this? Thank you, Kirby Princess. Cause see, it's like, it's brightly colored. I noticed those. Just jokes all love. Don't, you have, God, you have no idea. Like, especially like, you know, oh, YouTube likes it when you remind people about super thanks, and also I like getting super thanks. The ones I got on my Arcane videos last month, I paid my utilities with that. It was very generous. Thank you again to everyone who does that. I can't pin all the donation comments, and that's annoying. But like, I always struggle with that line between like, don't forget you can donate, and feeling like, you know, pass the plate around. but then also it's like, you know, thank you, and I don't want people who don't donate or can't donate to feel bad. It's a hard thing to grapple with, and my grandma has been trying to help me through that, bless her. Oh, she has her last day of radiology on Friday? Or is it tomorrow? I know I'm calling her on Friday. That's our day, that's right. I'm a big enough YouTuber to where I get to talk to the Third Bill's grandma. She still tries to help me with that. Are there no other payment avenues for donations that don't take a cut, Coffee or Patreon? Or do they still grab a percentage? Patreon, I don't know anything about Coffee or Ko-fi, however you say it. I've only seen it over text. Google and Patreon, I think, take about the same percentage-wise. If you donate at thethirdbill.com, they still take a cut. The company that does my merch, they still take a cut, but it's it's a much smaller cut. And then also, I don't know. I kind of see YouTube taking a cut. A, they're gonna anyway. B, I don't pay to use their service to upload or stream. And also, there's a part of me that wonders, do donations on YouTube help them like the streams more algorithmically? I don't know how that stuff works. That's all speculation. Again, as we've been learning from creators of all sizes, not a lot of communication. I do my best to figure out what cryptic, generic emails I occasionally get that are drafted by a computer. I'm not angry at them getting a cut, because it's a standard thing. Because I looked into it, and like Patreon, it's about the same. I think it's like 30%. Google, it's 30%. I think Twitch, it's also 30% or close to that. And then if you're in the U.S. at least, the taxes are generally about, I usually estimate about 20 to 25% to prepare for taxes. So whenever you donate, figure half of your donation goes to fees and the other half goes into the creator's pocket. That could also change. I'm sure there's also, when you're in that millions range, I'm sure you talk to somebody and there's a contract or a negotiation process or something. I'm sure there's something there. But yeah, that's pretty standard for it to be anywhere from like 20 to 30%. But is what it is. But yeah, if you donate on my merch store, there's a donation link at the bottom there. Whether you can add a donation when you buy something, you can just straight up donate. They do take less of a cut, but whatever way is easiest for you, because I also get it. It's YouTube. You know, if you've already donated on YouTube before, your stuff's already in there. It's part of a stream or a video. Because that's the other thing that's lame is I know they're working on it, because I've asked a couple times. But they just integrated something for Twitch, and I'm like, that's cool. I'm not on Twitch, and at this point, unless they invite me to, I'd have to learn all their interface, because I've only been on a Twitch to watch somebody do a Twitch stream like once, maybe twice. It's just not really my bag. They'd have to kind of let me skip a reading level for it to make sense to stream on Twitch, because then I'd be starting over at square one, right? Because it's not like they let you accept donations like day one, minute one, right? But I know some creators, when they are big on one platform, they can kind of skip that waiting period or those initial requirements and stuff. Plus, I'd have to learn their interface and everything. But it's something I've thought about a couple times. But no, I think if I were to venture out more than what I already do, it would probably be something like Patreon. And it would be like either like a monthly main channel stream, because it doesn't seem like everybody wants to check out the streams on the main channel, but when they do, they seem to have a good time. shout out. I'd either do a monthly stream to talk about main channel stuff, or a podcast, like a direct reading messages and discussing topics and stuff on like a Patreon podcast or something. Because I don't know, sometimes I'm like, name in the credits, a lot of people have told me is a standard thing for a thank you for Patreon, and I'm like, I'd like to do something extra, but also my bandwidth is so thin as it is. Is it not allowed through YouTube's policies to provide a Venmo, Cash App, PayPal situation? I don't think so. I'm not sure. I do know that they have a bad time with external links and stuff, and it's okay. Like I said, most places are going to take a cut anyway. If I were to do more revenue thing, it would probably be something like Patreon, so it's off of YouTube, just in case, because nothing's more nerve-wracking while agreeing with the open communication of the experiences of bigger YouTubers. I'm like, oh, what is this gonna do as it shakes its way down the tree? But I'm very, very pro and very for YouTubers talking about things that they're noticing, because they've all popped up on my stuff. One of them's trending right now. I think it was Jacksepticeye just did one, and he inadvertently addressed some of the questionable feelings and experiences I've had all the way down here at the size that I'm at. And I'm like, oh, I'm not being, I'm not lying to myself. I'm not being an asshole. Validating in that way. Because I even remember, and I don't think I'm somebody you should be asking advice from for content, because my stuff's not consistent or sustainable. But somebody asked me for advice, and I'm like, every time you think they're all out to get you, they are, but keep going. I feel like you can kind of translate where my headspace is there to some of the stuff that's been talked about lately with how they operate, how they do things. Sometimes it feels like, certain things get pushed better or more, or get pushed worse. Sometimes I question what I should and shouldn't, put in a title or tag. Sometimes I felt like, using Trying to Stand was a big help in making my content individual and unique and fresh and new, and now I feel like that's not the case, and I need to be putting, reaction, emotional, breakdown. I won't do emotional, at least I haven't. But that's kind of why that's kind of shifted a little bit in my titles, because I feel like being unique used to be a good thing, and now I feel like I need to hit the same keywords and titles and stuff that everybody else is doing. It's weird to kind of do that. And I've talked about it before. Sometimes I think people take Trying to Stand as, I dare you to get me to like Lady Gaga, when in reality I'm like, yeah, I'll check that out. That sounds like that's not something I've never listened to. Now here I am. She's always watching me back there, and she's made me weep several times. But no, I don't know if, I don't think you can really do Venmo or Cash App, nor would I really want to, because the last thing I would want is somebody to detect or poll or follow, because I think it's Venmo. One of them, it's like you can have like a friends list and you can see, because I think that happens to me sometimes. I haven't had to Venmo somebody in a while, but like you can see like, oh, Brad sent, Tina $5 for a burrito, and I'm like, oh, Brad and Tina are hanging out. Like, cool. Like, that's so weird. And back when I had a day job and didn't think it was under threat of layoffs, because they said they weren't going to lay people off until the summer of 2020, not 3 weeks later, I privated all my stuff so that I could, you know, chip into some people's stuff without it saying my YouTube channel name in 5 different places. Just sent you $1. Isn't he so good? What a king, what a legend. Like and subscribe. So all that shit is set to private, and I don't really know how to unprivate it. Brad and Tina in this economy? We'll keep Tina. Brad's gotta go. That makes sense. I think you can make all transactions private. Yeah, and that's what I did, but I'm like, I don't know how to, like, change it, undo it. It's fine. You know? Support in whatever way you can. Because, like, even Twitter asked me, like, do you want to turn on, like, super Twitter stuff? And I'm like, no. I'm fine if, like, a brand... insert company here wants to give me money to tweet, oh boy, I really love this particular soda beverage. A company giving me money to tweet, fine, I guess, but like a person, like, go buy a shirt. Insert company here wants to collab. They've hinted at it. They wanted me to apply to be a brand ambassador, and I'm like, the third bill doesn't apply for being a brand ambassador. Where's the money and product up front? God, that's also something I don't know how to navigate. I don't know when I get emails like that if it's real or not, and I don't know if I'm really ready for sponsorship integration. I guess if it's something that like I've used or heard of and the email seems legit, and there have been a couple times where I'm like, that seems like it was real. I'm glad I ignored it still. But who knows? I also could have blacklisted myself from like several common YouTube sponsored people because I didn't respond to an email, either because I was stressed or depressed or blessed or just didn't want to. Because I know one company that I recognized sent like a generic email introducing themselves, and it was like, while my grandma's diagnosis had come in with breast cancer not too long ago. And I was just like, it's not their fault. How are they supposed to know this shit? But I was like, fuck you. Like, I was like, no. Don't ever look at emails again. Damn. There you go. That probably wasn't the best idea, but is what it is. I'm learning, because this is also the shit. When I was in school, they were still telling you, like, don't do things on the internet. You know, that's just free acting. You know, if you put things on the internet, you'll never work in theater. And it's like, oh no, I guess I shouldn't. And now I'm like, I'm an idiot. Some of the big viral vines that I saw several years later were filmed like in the area where I would walk to school or get lunch or something in LA. It's frustrating. Oh, somebody followed me on Twitter. I don't know who that is, but thank you. That's cool. I feel like it'd be good to work with sponsors. Well, yeah, I'm not gonna, hopefully this company doesn't do anything bad, because even with Fourth Wall, who I do my merch with and stuff, we had our virtual meeting, and I had a list of questions, concerns, lines in the sand, and I'd heard of them a little bit just from like other YouTubers mentioning them and stuff when I'd like watch random videos and things, and it was like time to put more of that, kindness, compassion, understanding into action. Are you, what's your policies on, anything from hateful things? I'm trying to word this in a way to where YouTube doesn't accidentally flag me because I brought up the concept of angry talk, we'll say. Hateful things on merch, like I don't want, check out a picture of Bill crying next to, something awful and, messed up. I don't want that. And I'm like, what are you doing, with this kind of stuff? How do you handle these things? What is your stance on, as certain people try to advocate for XYZ things, and also bringing up like I'm very, pro mental health and equality and all this stuff, and I'm like, that's also very much part of my content. I don't want to work with somebody who's like, you know, haha, you know, KYS on a shirt, again, next to a picture of me crying. And I'm like, you know, what are your policies on those things? And they broke all that stuff down for me, and like I everything aligned with what I wanted to hear. So I was like, okay, cool. And same thing, you know, with, you know, it's just money, right? It's not digital currency that 9 times out of 10 may or may not pay out or be real. And they're like, yes, it's just real currency. And I'm like, okay, sick. Just asking those kind of questions. And it was really nerve-wracking to like be in that position where it's like, I want to do merch with people who are good at doing merch. And I haven't gotten any complaints from anybody who's received merch, and I have some samples coming in for something, ideally soon. Hint, hint. But I'm like, yeah, like, you know, it's time to start, you know, asking those questions and making sure our values line up. And, you know, I'm grateful it went well, but yeah, I would have had to be like, oh, well, no, thank you. I don't want, you know, angry things or making light of mental health, but to be something I'm in some way synonymous with if I can control it. It's still the internet and all that other stuff. But, being in my first, like, business meeting to ask that, because also the last time I was in, like, a professional meeting like that, it was a job interview several years ago. And I'm very much at the mercy of, I need health insurance, and if I keep working in restaurants, something bad's gonna happen to my legs. Will you hire me, please? Like, they could have been like, every day you have to, you know, you have to punch a seal. And I'd be like, at least I get health insurance. Like, I'm kind of in that position to where, like, I can't just do whatever I want. Obviously, my content still needs to be relevant to a topic or something that people are searching for, ideally. But, you know, taking advantage of the situation to be like, well, I can always look for another place to do merch and asking the right questions. And it's the first time I felt really an element of control, because, yeah, I've never interviewed for a job and not desperately needed a job, you know? So it was interesting kind of being in that kind of setting. Does any of that make sense? So yeah, to the point somebody said, you know, in a world where somebody wants to work with me, like, I'm gonna do that due diligence to the best of my abilities. Nothing anyone ever does is gonna be 100% guaranteed, but yeah, like, you know, I also pay attention to the ones that don't have good reputations, and, you know, I might have recognized a couple of games that wanted to be promoted, and I was like, oh, I'm very aware of your product. No, if I'm gonna do a sponsorship, it's not gonna be something people are gonna laugh at. It's not gonna be a meme. You know what I mean? Somebody knows what I'm talking about. I'm sure. But yeah, we got a little spooky time Halloween thing coming soon. Fingers crossed. I just need to get a sample in my hand, because that's the other thing too, is like, I also don't want to throw up and I like design something through the tools that they give me and go, that should come out nice, and then not check out a sample. And that was something I was thinking about, because I do have to pay out of pocket for the samples every time. Maybe that would be something I would do with Patreon, is like a raffle where it's like, hey, you know, you guys get to find out that I have new merch dropping soon. I'll pick someone at random, give me your size, and then, you know, that'll be the sample that I order. Once I look at it and go, yup, that's what it needs to look like, I'll send it to you. Like, something like that, you know? Fun shit. But no, as much as I like to joke about these kind of things, I also want to reaffirm that I do take that kind of stuff seriously. Because I don't know, it's never been anybody big, but there was a couple of things that I recognized, and I was like, oh, no, it's good to know it's there. I'd like us all to agree that if I'm at a point where I'm promoting a certain mobile game, Bill really needs it. Everybody chip in $1. I won't say which mobile game. You never know. Maybe the reputation will rise up and they'll go, we really like his streams. What's this? Oh, you're a piece of garbage for talking bad about us. But there's a couple that I laugh at when I see those spots. But get that money, fellow creator. As long as you're a good creator, fellow creator. Anyway, speaking of stuff, I think this impromptu stream has gone on long enough. Unless somebody has a question they want to know from my amazing microphone. I'm glad it sounds good. Smash that like. Why not? Should I keep the stream up? Was this worth everyone's time? Subscribe, guys. Get the word out. Help me promote the streams while they're happening. Tweet about it. Thank you to everyone donating. Some people made some fan art recently. Someone shared with me one on Twitter from Zombie Prom, Monster Prom, and somebody also shared an Amori one on my Tumblr. Doing stuff like that is not only like really cool, and I love it when people make art of me, but you know, sharing it, which not everybody has to do. That is a pro tip. If you don't tag me, I don't save it. If I see it by accident or someone else sends it to me, I'm like, no, they didn't tag me in it. They don't want me to look at it. That's fine. I respect that boundary. So that's always how I take it. Like, you know, it's like I did a thing, but don't look at me, which is valid. You know, it's the virtual equivalent of not wanting a handshake or a hug. I respect that. But you know, tweet about it, share it, post it on the soch. Do we still say that? But help me promote the channel. I hope we can hit 5K, and the reward will be the agonizing, evil version of Undertale, which I still don't know anything about other than it's hard and it's sad. That's a lot coming from Undertale, because Undertale was plenty sad when we were just having fun. The good old days. When everything was pre-recorded and I wasn't spending $400 on a microphone, a cable, a little box, another cable, and a stand. Here we are. But thanks for helping me test out the stuff, because I was like, if I can't get this stuff to work and I have to invest more money to finagle it into working, or, you know, whatever, it's not the right stuff, I need to return it. But I was getting really stressed, and I was like, why not? Let's just do an impromptu stream, testing out the audio and stuff. We'll be doing Monster Prom tomorrow on Thursday. Same time, same place. Thanks for hanging out, guys. Thanks for stopping by. You know, it's appreciated. I know this wasn't scheduled or anything, and I just wanted to mess around with stuff. It's just appreciated that people stop by. Thank you, Kirby Princess, for the $4.99. But yeah, we'll be doing what's his name? The freaking the vampire lad who's like, he wants me to be mean to him, but secretly he wants to be loved, but all he does is hurt me. That boy is a monster. He will be mine. I just don't know how I'm gonna do it. But I'm excited to play more of that. The characters are fun. But, God, I'm tired. Thanks for being here while I did cell biology homework. Damn, Kirby Princess, what are you doing? Get your homework done, by the way. The Count from Sesame Street. I mean, wait, was it Sesame Street? Which one? Yeah, it was Sesame Street that just, like, got kicked out. Liam, you looked it up. Didn't, like, Sesame Street, like, because aren't they setting up, like, their own YouTube channel or something? because that's literally the PBS now of the world. I'm surprised they didn't already do it. I swear on Gordy, I did not. You looked it up. I'm a marine biology major working at a research institution helping restore oyster reefs. Oh, that's awesome and far more important than what I'm doing. That's so cool. Well, get those oysters some reefs. That's so cool. Damn, what's it feel like to do something that actually matters and has an impact on things in a positive way? Please save my planet. Save my ocean. Are giant squids real? I've wanted to know that my whole life. I know there's like murky footage, but like that was one of those first time I ever saw like a drawing of a kraken. I'm like, that shit's real, right? My grandpa, who was like really big into science, he was a geologist. He was like, maybe. I'm like, wow. That, I'm not even joking. You are doing hard work, my guy, making us all happy. I like to think so. Thank you. I wouldn't call it hard work, but I did just spend 4 hours today staring into the abyss that is the Lilo and Stitch universe. Because I think my theory has legs. And I think I'm going to make that weird video. Because everything I've been wanting to do a video on, it's going to take another week or so. I plan on it. I believe they are. I also think Megs are real because they move around so we can never catch them. Very true. Bill, you're making my world better. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. I'm tired. Sorry for burping. I'm glad this shit works. Rest up, everybody. We got a big romantic Halloween spectacular coming up. Are you thinking of doing any more horror podcasts? Nah. I mean, I've thought about doing some horror-based stuff. We're gonna be doing some games here. And on the main channel, I've been wanting to find a way to incorporate horror in some way. Did not hear you burp. Fantastic. Now I just need to find out eventually if you can hear me when I fart, and then we'll know if this microphone's good to go. Podcasting, nah. I appreciate it's gone now. You won't be able to find it. But way back, I used to do some horror things with some friends when I lived in the city, and I learned a lot from doing that and had a lot of fun. Got to hang out with some really great people. That kind of became the precursor of me wanting to talk digitally about pop culture and entertainment and stuff. Because I did like some of the earliest stuff on the main channel is like horror things, because that's the stuff that I like. And I kind of realized, by no means would I consider myself an expert in anything other than being a dingus, but I kind of learned that at least like what became my gateway into cultivating an audience is talking about things I know nothing about, as opposed to, you know, watching and dissecting horror movies that I've seen thousands of times to death with friends who've also seen those movies a lot. And like talking more on like the genre and stuff and how much I've learned about that. It was always fun and enriching, and the 20 people that would listen to it, I hope they got something out of it. But I like this approach a lot more. I like learning as I go. Arcane's kind of been the exception of the rule lately, but it's been really fun to like learn and unearth things and also enjoy something without the baggage of that lens, that curse of knowledge, if you will. I've been liking that a lot more. But maybe in the sense of like doing something, because I do have my pumpkin carving stream that I do every year on the main channel. We'll be doing that again in October. I do like taking that opportunity to talk about horror, and I'd love to incorporate it more into my content. It's just, it's always so hit or miss, I get that, you know, not everybody's palate or tolerance threshold for horror is the same. But I miss doing that, and I miss my friends. Because God, that saved me so much money to move out of the city. But I miss everybody. But I'll be honest with you here, Bill. I've never seen any classic horror movies, only Jordan Peele's movies, It, and The Black Phone. What's your fave? Because I'll totally watch it. Oh, that's tough. I mean, I guess if you're, like, low into things, I'd recommend something a little older. Or something that's a little more campy to help you kind of like ease into it. I'm a big fan of the first two original Halloweens. Skip the rest, including the Rob Zombies, and watching. I haven't seen Halloween Kills, but I saw the Jamie Lee Curtis returning to the Halloween franchise, and I liked that. I like the better of the Michael Myers world. One of my favorites is The Exorcist. It's a rough go. If you are sensitive, it depends, because I've also had friends. I also have friends who've laughed at me for being afraid of The Exorcist, but it's an Oscar winner. The novel's really great. It has a cultural impact too. John Carpenter's The Thing's a really good one. That's a good one. Good call, man. I'll try to watch the first Halloween tomorrow before the stream. Cool. Well, good luck. That one it's definitely slasher. But I think that's a good starter kit. It's a little older, so it's still gonna be, I feel like, still effective, but there's an easy out for you psychologically if it starts to get too much, where it's like, haha, that looks like corn syrup. But I think it still holds up on its visual effects and stuff, but it's an easy out if you're testing your limits of horror. I always recommend going for something more in the post-colorization, pre-CGI, not looking like ass, because then you'll still have a good time because it's a good story and solid effects, but there's still an out for you on a subconscious level if you need it. And Halloween's pretty classic. Like, you'll definitely get a sense of the roots of slasher that all stem from that era, and particularly Halloween. Because like Nightmare on Elm Street's really fun, but it definitely starts to lean into more of the crass end of things. But I would say, yeah, Halloween, The Exorcist, and then if you start to kind of vibe with Halloween, I'd start saying go into the Nightmare on Elm Streets, Friday the 13th. John Carpenter's The Thing's a really good one. I usually there's a dog. That's what I'll say. Because I'm always torn between, and I know we also have these conversations when I'm playing games and stuff too, where it's like, I don't want to spoil anything, but I know that there's some things where it's like, hey, sensibilities, but I don't want to spoil anything. Because it's horror. I would take one of these suggestions, look it up if you can try to find somewhere that does like vague content warnings, because there have been times where I've watched horror movies even before I even knew what a trigger warning or a content warning was, where I'm like, oh, I wish someone had told me about that. Again, something I was making fun of my stepmom for, because she and my dad had me watch The Exorcist when I was like 7 or 8, like early elementary school, and it terrified me. Like, I almost got sick. I was so scared. I was way too young. And then I wanted the reassurance of, it's just a movie, right? And it's like, well, it's based on a book that's based on a true story, and also, you know, they are Christian believing people, and they're like, well, if you believe in God, you believe in the devil. And I was like, this isn't what I want to hear right now. All I needed was, yes, it's just a movie, not philosophy and religious questions. And I was telling that to my stepmom today, and she was laughing, and she's like, yeah, that's a good point. I'm like, at the very least, don't tell me it's based on a true story. At least the Bible's still a book. But she was laughing, and I'm like, you did not need to tell someone with single digits to their age, A, shouldn't have watched the movie, B, you didn't need to tell me it's based on a true story, because in my mind that doesn't take me to, I guess Western religion does play a big role, in Catholicism really has impacted us in our cinema. Instead I went, so this demon's gonna follow me around the house and chase me. Pet Sematary is a solid story. It's definitely one of those, because I'm a big Stephen King fan, but there's still a lot of times where it's like, we do have a tendency to like rudely take from cultures as opposed to appreciate the cultures that we pull a story from. And that's always the hard thing with recommending people horror now, is it's like, you know, anything down to the concept of The Mummy is, you know, bunch of white dudes went, ew, gross, that's too many band-aids, let's scare people with someone else's culture. And it's something we still make those movies today, and it's like, ugh. But hindsight is 2022. I like the story though. I like the characters of Pet Sematary. It's rough, as the name implies. It involves pets, and that can get to people. But that's kind of the point of horror. But I like when you focus in on how this impacts the people, and the performances are solid, especially from, I'm forgetting his name. He's definitely dead. He's an older gentleman. Going up there, that guy. I love that man's voice. Stephen King's a great horror author, but he had his fair share of iffy content like It. Yeah, we even talked about that. I think it might have been last stream. I remember talking about It and clarifying, like, I don't like that part, but I like how we talk about trauma and how the clown takes different forms, and our trauma comes from different places, but it can still be shared experiences as well as bonding through our own individual traumas and stuff. But yeah, we definitely could have cut that part out. I'm glad the movies cut that part out. If you know, you know. But horror would not be the same without him today. Agreed. And kind of like I said about the genre itself, a lot of my go-to recommendations, I don't have the stomach for anymore. So I don't have a easy time recommending them to people. Like The Stand was one of my favorite books until, you know, we lived a 1% low-fat milk version of it. It's still going on, and I'm like, I don't really feel. It's a different emotion and different feeling. Recommending that now. Thoughts on Silence of the Lambs? I mean, if we're talking about the impact of it, it's super unfortunate, because I remember reading somewhere that Thomas Harris, like the author of the books, very much was like, well, no, I specifically wanted to address that Buffalo Bill wasn't trans, so that way I'm updating the vernacular. Not to excuse it, but I don't want to repeat it. It was like, I expressly said that he's not trans, so like that means people won't assume bad things about trans people, right? No, you poor bastard. It breaks my heart, but also the impact you have, you know, it's not always going to be in your control. The performances are good. I like thrillers and stuff, and again, the ethereal intent of, like, you know, oh, this is based on like things that serial killers had done, like it was inspired by like Ed Gein and stuff like that, and then like explicitly dialogue that like he was adamant, the author was adamant, this dialogue saying he's not trans that's in the book needs to be in the movie, and then thinking, I'm helping and I'm fixing it, and no one's going to make this assumption because I explicitly said that he is not, because I don't want people to think that trans people are violent, and like, that was still the impact for a lot of people anyway, and like, because I was reading about that a while ago, because that came into my mind, and I was like, oh man, like that hurts, like, but, you know, that doesn't change the impact that it had. It did more harm than anything. Yeah, exactly, it did more harm than anything. And that's why it breaks my heart that he was conscious of that and was, like, worried about that, and, like, you know, no, like, I put in the dialogue that he's not. Anyway, and, like, sorry, man. It sucks. Nothing that... you can't guarantee nothing will cause... or something won't cause anybody pain or hardship. But, like, yeah, and it's an ugly truth with a lot of things in general, but, you know, big difference between somebody wanting to or expressing negativity or condemning groups, even if the art doesn't explicitly do it. I guess I'd rather have something accidentally do harm than intentionally, but it's still harm that's being made. That really sucks. You know, also, I've tried to make not a video, but I tried to explain this once in a video and realized I added like 30 minutes to a 20-minute video, but like there's levels to representation, you know, direct, indirect, supportive, aware, supportive, unaware, ignorant, willingly, ignorant, complete, true, neutral, true, negative. There's so many layers to representation, so someone like me doesn't really have a place to say it other than just the objective, supportive lens of that's a huge, heartbreaking thing to realize that something's done pain to someone, done harm to people. I'm never going to tell somebody that they're wrong. You know, I wish there was a way that I could say something that would make somebody feel better, but that's not realistic. But it's like, you know, it's also, I guess, I don't know what you would call it, but I guess I'd want to at least reassure somebody that my sentiment from having watched that movie as a very young child, again, I was watching a lot of movies I shouldn't have been watching as a little kid. I never once thought you represent a type of person that must be bad or dangerous. I just sat there and went, oh, this, if anything, I was like, man, this is given, my name is also Bill. Oh no. But like, that thought never crossed my mind. And I've seen like documentaries and stuff, people talking about the mishandling or misuse or the negativity of trans or queer or just the full LGBTQIA plus communities lacking representation over the years in horror. And some that were on that list, I'm like, that's a damn shame, because I took it the dead opposite and found it to be like somehow constructive in the narrative. I don't really have many examples off the top of my head that wouldn't give away an entire movie or reference something that, again, people that I don't speak for by any means, I only speak for myself, found a lot of pain, or it grew a lot of pain in direct or indirect ways for them. And like, it's like, damn, you know, that sucks. And, you know, I'm also never been in a hurry to watch those again, because I read the books and wow, they're a lot more graphic in the book, and I'm like, I was a freshman in high school reading the Silence of the Lamb books, and I'm like, I know I shouldn't be reading these. But I guess, you know, while I don't speak for anybody, it's also like, if I were having a face-to-face offline conversation with somebody, I'd go, if it helps in any way, I never once took it that way. I was like, oh man, I wouldn't trust somebody who calls himself Buffalo Bill and is like telling me to come inside his house and his electricity isn't working, that would scare me, you know. It's unfortunate because when people don't understand things, they fear them. Yeah, that's yeah. Yeah, and that's again where you get into the play to the height of your intelligence argument. Because also it's unfortunate that the way Silence of the Lambs is remembered through the film of cinema, the lens of cinema. People remember the movie because it stood on its own, but it's a part of a series of books about Hannibal Lecter. So it's also like that character isn't even the focus in the books, just an incident in the series, if that makes sense. So it's also like, you know, damn, there's also books that don't have Buffalo Bill in them that have their own stories, but again, I'm not going to argue with somebody's feelings, just how I don't want somebody to argue my feelings, you know. If someone says something in the hopes of making me feel better, that's something different. Just like how I need to learn in my personal as well as my online, my personal online life. That's not a thing. My online and offline conversations. It's like, you know, sometimes my desire to be considerate and add something in the hopes of making someone feel better, it could just come across as contrarian, and that's not helpful. I hope that answered your question, because it's such a complicated thing, and it's like, again, you know, after a certain point, it's just out of your hands, you know. But I don't know. It's just one of those things where I sit there and I'm like, because that's something I also want to know is like, what was the intent? Is this somebody who's known to be antagonistic to a cause or a group of people? And to see somebody like, you know, with outdated vernacular, even just being considerate of somebody different than you is a big deal at the time. To be like, no, I explicitly said, guys, like it's a sentence right here, see, and it's in the movie too. I hope people don't take it that way. And it's like, damn, like that consideration kind of evaporating. It's heartbreaking, but that doesn't absolve anything. But who knows? For all I know, that article's a lie. But I saw that all over the place. I checked that source twice. But you know, it's valid because, you know, like I said, you know, we were talking about Pet Sematary earlier, and it's like, that's one of those things where it felt like the story took something from somewhere else and probably wasn't the most respectful with it. Because I don't know, it's fiction. It all has to come from somewhere, yes, but like, we don't have to steal names. So sometimes I'm like, fictitious names might help, but then I'm like, but are you doing more of a disservice? And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe the #1 best-selling New York Times author could pay to meet with and have an open discussion with somebody to figure that shit out. And I'm sure if we treated topics then the way we do now, someone would have mentioned that. I know Prey did their best to be fair, and people are still mad on both sides of the spectrum there. And the one with the hope of a positive improvement is the valid one, but you know, you're not going to make everybody happy. I don't know. Kind of like you said, things that we don't understand can turn into things that we fear. And yeah, that's where a lot of the genre was rooted for a very long time. And that's why you'll see more of a push for, you know, exploring something like, you know, my example, The Exorcist. Like, you're not really punching down to talk about, you know, Catholicism in that way. And if anything, the Catholic Church was like, cool, this is going to scare people into reading our version of the book, which I think it did for some people, I'm sure. But leaning more towards the slasher end of things, or we as people are the monsters. We live in a society. Alien stuff is also a good one, you know, as long as it's, you know, again, still keeping it in that safer quadrant. Because, like, I don't know, there's smart horror out there. You just need to find it, and even if it stumbles, I think there's a lot of knowledge to be gained, me personally, from, you know, having a conversation like we just had about it, or acknowledging it, or just kind of processing, you know, take that empathetic exercise for a second. Oh, you found out something impacted somebody else negatively. Take a minute to reflect on it. You know, understand somebody else. See how you feel there. Now, if your response is good, I want other people to feel bad all the time. Like, talk to somebody. But like, it, you know, you're not a bad person for not knowing or not understanding, because we are only going to have our perspectives. All we can do is listen to other people. As long as you're not wishing negativity or ill will or bad feelings on others, you know, don't do that. But, you know, it's something we have to acknowledge and learn from, because I think it's shown a lot in successful, maybe not successful as far as like financially, but there's been some, but like I think that's something the genre has kind of taken in and started to, you know, build a better reputation from. It's like, oh yeah, let's maybe not do it like that, you know. And I like that, because that's something that, because that's also like, I want to enjoy the movie, you know, like I don't want to, you know, I want this to hold up. The person making it should want to too. I don't know, that's just me. I hope anything I'm saying is making sense, because it's just, like I said, it's a difficult subject. I don't ever want to like speak for other people, you know. Someone wanted my thoughts on it, I gave it, kind of went down this rabbit hole. But, you know, it's, like I said, it's heartbreaking when somebody makes a thing and like thought they were clearing a path away from doing harm, and it's like, sorry man, but that didn't work. And I also feel bad for the people that it does harm for, and, you know, not everybody's gonna take it in that negative way, but, you know, that doesn't make the negativity go away either. I don't know. And again, that's why I said earlier it's hard to suggest horror stuff, because I'm also like, some of the stuff I haven't seen in a long time, and I'm like, how would it make me feel to watch it now? But like, that's what keeps a classic in my opinion. Is when it can kind of hold up and still do its job, and do its job well. I don't know. That's just me. I also, you know, horror is the first time I ever learned about gender identity and fluidity, and, you know, it never once had like a negative impact on me. I was just like, oh, neat, you know. But also, that's not how everybody has responded to those things, and acknowledging that. Sensitivity consultants should really be a prerequisite for publishing any sort of... Yeah, I think so. But it's also, you know, I think I know what non-indie media, I just saw that line. Yeah, if you have the budget for, you know, a $250 million movie, you can have a group of people Googling some shit, talking to some people with experience, professionals, but also, who's to say that a single professional speaks for everybody? But I know what you mean, like doing that research and stuff, and, you know, not everything's a guarantee that you're gonna consider everything or pick up on everything, but that's why you want multiple voices in the room, but also a comfortability for people to speak up and go, I don't know if we should be including, you know, insert group here in this fashion, you know? So I think it's also the comfortability of speaking up when something. Hey, can we do like a emotional spell check on this? You know what I mean? But I think it also, I hope anyway, it presents a interesting, for lack of a better word, I guess, challenge to, like I said, play to the height of your intelligence. You know, write something that's still scary, that's still impactful, that doesn't do the cheap shot of, like I was talking earlier, where, you know, bunch of white dudes showed up in Egypt and went, "Oh, gross, they've got band-aids on their faces. That's weird, let's make movies about it." 'Cause God. It still goes on, the horrible things in entertainment, but you ever want to take a hard look at how much we have faltered as people, do some film history studying. It is jarring. Or any kind of entertainment, really. Nothing was more fun than going into History of the American Musical and starting with vaudeville and that stuff. And just, again, I have to be indirect because I don't know how YouTube would treat the conversation. But watching the problematic performances from way back then and going, yikes. Oh, no. When do we get to Oklahoma? But you learn, and it's important to talk about it. Again, you know, if someone, God forbid, if someone were to bring up doing something of that style of old school vaudeville stuff, I'd be very confident raising my hand going, I learned that's a bad idea. You know, or I think we talked about it once, like a rant about The Greatest Showman, and it's like, you know, man, I don't think P.T. Barnum's known for his inspirational quotes. You could have changed Hugh Jackman's character's name, and it would have been the exact same movie, except it would have made me feel a lot better. Little things like that. It doesn't have to be big. Little things like that. But anyway. I hope that answered whoever's question that was. Anyway, on that note, I'm tired. We passed the 2-hour mark, which I didn't want to do. I see some people dropping suggestions. Well, consider donating to the gaming fund. Leave a comment or else I'm not going to find it. I'm not writing anything down right now. But leave a comment. Consider donating to the game fund. Oh yeah, that's what I wanted to do before we started talking about movies and horror movies and the problematic nature of horror movies. And now here we are an hour later. I want to check out the deals to see if there's anything cool and scary over there. I hope everybody's having a good night. Thanks for helping me test the audio, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for, I don't know, cultivating a safe space to talk about this kind of stuff without, you know, derailing. It's like I said, just like that comfortability of like, hey, that doesn't feel right. We should talk to somebody about it. These are also spaces, like, you know, that I want to cultivate into something where it's like, you know, bringing stuff up or having a constructive conversation, at least what few ones you can on the internet, or even what few ones you can in this kind of way where you hear me and I don't hear you. I think that stuff's important. But I don't know. I also appreciate feeling like I have the ability to, yeah, I like horror, and no, not all the horror I've seen is good or even something that I think would have been made or should have been made without certain changes, precautions, considerations, and stuff. I don't know. I appreciate having those kind of conversations from time to time and keeping things constructive, keeping things civil, and I appreciate that. But I'm sleepy, and I didn't prep any of my streaming water, so I'm also thirsty, my head hurty. But I'm glad the audio works. This is good to know. I need to make a mental note of where the gain is. Because as cool as this little mixer thing is, it doesn't have a number. It's just a little thing. It's like a little dial. It's a little under halfway, but I'll write that down. But I hope everyone's staying safe, guys. There may not be much in the description this time around, but there is, as always, a link there to a card, listening to resources for social awareness, education, mental health, and crisis lines, Trevor Project resources, things like that. Should you or someone you don't need them. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you again, Kirby Princess, for the $4.99 donation tonight. Thank you to everyone who has donated or contributed. If you're unable to donate, clicking on stuff, watching stuff, sharing stuff, leaving comments, making sure you smash that like. Those are all ways to support me as well. Following me on social media. All those good things. It's free. Like and subscribe is not a bit. Ring that bell. Check that setting. Set them to all. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone's staying safe. See you guys tomorrow. Wish me luck. I'm making this video. I can't guarantee it's going to be good. I'm going to do my best to make it good. This is going to be the weirdest Lilo and Stitch video on YouTube. Wish me luck. But we'll be streaming some Monster Prom tomorrow. Thanks for hanging out again, guys. Thanks for helping me go through this and make sure everything's working. Oh, thank you, Alana. You can also support me in Super Chat if you're watching this in the future and not in chat. You can do it in Super Chat on the video here or on the main channel. You can also support me at thethirdbill.com. Buy some merch, leave a donation. You know, those are also ways. Thank you for reminding me. I appreciate that. Alana just fed me the rest of the please support me speech via Super Chat or through the merch store. Thank you to everyone who does. If you are unable to, that's fine. And if you don't want to, that's fine too. Please remember and consider the free ways that you can support me. Like and subscribe. Share around. But thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I know this one was impromptu. I know this was sudden and out of nowhere and not part of the schedule. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me and hope everyone's staying safe. Hope to see you tomorrow. I'll be live. Or as I'm perusing the comments of videos and stuff. But I hope everyone's doing well and everyone's doing okay. Hope to see you tomorrow or soon. Be safe. Be mindful of others. Wear a mask if you choose to go out. Thank you, Alana, for modding. And remember to take care of yourselves, please.